The hunt is on as Interplay Entertainment and High Voltage Software bring White Wolf's popular pen and paper game Hunter: The Reckoning to the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. Touting a brand new story available only on the PlayStation 2, Hunter: The Reckoning Wayward exposes the horror of the world of darkness like never before. And now, we take you behind the scenes to hear directly from the creators of the Runaway franchise.
Wayward is a action game where you and a buddy get together and you just kill monsters, do side quests, rescue innocents, and even collect items in the world to create some really fancy weapons.
The main difference between the original game and Hunter Wayward is in the original game it was very linear gameplay. You advanced through the missions one at a time. This time you're using a hub system. You will be launching from a mission base, if you will, and going out into the world and then coming back. You'll receive new goals which allow you to go back into the worlds you've already explored. So it's just an amazing replayability system where you're going to be visiting the same places, but each time they'll be different.
Working with the White Wolf license, I played Vampire when it first came out. I got one of the first copies of the first edition. So I was pretty excited to work on a White Wolf game. Our correspondence with White Wolf has been great.
A hunter is a regular person who one day is awakened to the fact that evil is all around them. And they never noticed that before until the messengers arrive and imbue them with their hunter powers.
The premise for Hunter Wayward is we have two hunters, Joshua and Devin, both the Wayward Creed. They have uncovered cult activity beginning in the town of Ashcroft. They realize that there's a darker purpose behind this cult and someone is actually pulling the cult's strings, so they call in the help and assistance of the first 4 hunters from Hunter: The Reckoning. Once those 4 hunters arrive heeding this call, they find that the 2 original hunters have vanished into thin air effectively. They set out to uncover what happened to them, find out what's behind the cult, and save the day.
There are 5 characters you can play in Wayward right now. There's Deuce, who's the big biker. His strength is his strength and his power. There's Cassandra. She's very martial artsy, very quick, very agile. There's Father Esteban. He's a priest. His powers stem from his ability to sort of use magic or edges. And then there's Samantha, who is the ex-cop. She's fast. She has a fairly good weapon. Pretty good use of magic. And then there's the new guy. There's the Wayward, who is a psychopath.
Coming soon, part 2 of the making of Hunter: The Reckoning Wayward.
Hi, my name is Saul Villegas, and today I'm going to show you a cool move for the game, The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. In this cool move, I'm going to show you how to defeat Lurtz, who is the boss at the end of the level, Amen Hen. Let me show you how it's done. For the first part of this battle, what you want to do is, you want to avoid the arrows that Lurtz is shooting at you. You won't be able to attack him with your sword yet. Take out any other enemy that might be in the area too. Wait for him to pause after shooting an arrow and shoot arrows back at him. Eventually, it'll move on to phase 2, where he takes out his sword. At this point, you will now be able to hit him with your sword. The trick here is to hide behind these statues. Try to keep the statue between you and him. Now that he's stuck, you'll be able to hit him. Once again, find another statue and try to keep him between you and him. And when it's stuck, do a combo on him. And run to another statue. Once again, hit him. And run to another statue. Now I'm going to run over this statue over here. Try to keep that between us. And once again, he's got the sword stuck in there. And as you can see, just keep doing that, and you'll be able to defeat Lurtz. Follow the strategies and tips that I just showed you right here in this cool move, and you'll find that Lurtz is a cinch to defeat. Good luck and have fun.
Hi, I'm Linnea Leiden, and in today's cool move, I'll be showing you how to improve your style ranking in Devil May Cry 2. Here's how it's done. Go to an area where you can find a lot of enemies. Alternate between Dante's weapons using the triangle and square buttons. Use the circle button to dodge attacks, as well as link your moves. Be careful. If Dante takes any damage, your style ranking will drop back down to D. When you begin a combo, you should see the text in the right-hand corner explaining how you're doing. Don't Worry stands for a D. Come On is a C, etc. The goal is to get your style ranking to S, for showtime. An additional benefit is that it also refills your Devil Trigger gauge. At the end of Devil May Cry 2, your style ranking helps contribute to your overall Devil Hunter bonus, which is key to unlocking secrets at the end of the game. So remember, use the circle button to link your moves, alternate Dante's weapons, and you should be on your way to showtime in no time.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Alex Stahl, and today I'm going to show you how to get a good jump on Hypersonic.xtreme to help you win the race. Alright, the key to this game is to listen at the start. Don't watch the timer. Just listen for the chime right at the beginning. You hit the gas when you hear the chime after the 1, you're good to go. When the countdown finishes, you'll hear that chime. Mash on the X button, your ship will glow blue, and you'll take off in front of all your competitors, and you'll be on your way to a championship. Hey, how's it going? I'm Alex Stahl, and today I'm going to show you how to beat up on the last boss of Rayman 3. So you get the chain power up, run back towards him, target his shield, shoot the chain and start mashing on the square button to electrocute him while moving back and forth to dodge his fireball. When his shield's gone, run over, grab the other power up, get back in front, target him, throw some knockout punches. Until you get that chain power up, Reflex is going to try and strike you down with lightning. Watch out for the little yellow circles on the ground and run left and right to avoid them. Once you get the chain power up, run over, shoot his shield, and electrocute him by mashing on the square button. Then grab the other power up and throw some knockout punches. Reflex will be down for the count.
Okay, be honest. How many times have you played a game and thought, I could make a better game than this? Over the next few issues, we're going to take a look at the process of game design and talk about how designers make games and the skills that they use. You'll get a better understanding of the work that goes into your favorite games and a better understanding of the skills you'll need if you decide to make the quest for that better game your career. Now, for all you hands-on gamers out there, a company called Agetec has created their Game Designer series that lets you start to build your own games at home using your PlayStation 2.
Agetec launched the Designer Series in year 2000 for PS1. This year, 2002, we've just launched Fighter Maker 2 for PS2. Next year in 2003, we have Color Quest and RPG Maker 2, all of them exclusively for PS2. The one thing that they all have in common is the more the player puts into any of them, the more tangible results they're going to have to show for their work.
Fighter Maker 2 is perfect for the fans of games like Virtua Fighter or Tekken. What makes Fighter Maker 2 unique is that you can design not only the look of your characters, but all of their moves as well.
Everything from the skin tone, hair color, no hair, all the costuming choices, it's all customizable by the player. And then the next step they take is to assign all the martial arts moves for the characters. The main tools are the sequence editor and the animation editor. The sequence editor allows you to set preset moves within 6 different fighting techniques. But in the sequence editor, you decide, do you want to use the preset moves or do you want to invent your own? The animation editor shows you how to take it frame by frame through the motion to see how it flows with the character. And everything's in 3D models, so it really looks realistic, and all the moves are timed to the human body and what it can do. You also design where the camera angle is. Would the fighting look better side by side, the traditional 2D style, or do you want the camera to flow around while you're fighting?
Once you've created the moves, you assign them to buttons, create combos, and determine damage values.
The sequence editor is taking the animations that were created in the animation editor and attaching values to them. So, did this punch cause X amount of damage or X plus 5? Is this a special combo move? If it is there double damage? Is there triple damage? That's all done in the sequence editor.
And you can also combine the 2 animation in one as a combo hit, like a 1 punch, 2 punch, or 1 punch, 2 punch, 3 punch. And also you can set what button combination you have to use to execute the motions.
Once you've learned how to animate a 3D character in Fighter Maker 2, you can move on to RPG Maker 2. Now the challenge is to design an entire game.
Now you're going from John Woo to an entire animation studio. Actually, it's closer to what we do here. You're producing a game from scratch.
Building a game from the ground up might seem a little overwhelming, but RPG Maker 2 helps ease you into it.
So first, I want them to create small RPG from the beginner mode. If it's one town, like 1 caves and 1 huge boss, this kind of small RPG, and I want them to learn what the steps they should take to complete a game. Then back to the beginning and then select hard level, which means they can create all the things from the scratch, even the buildings, field, and magics, monsters.
You're creating a planet here. Imagine a ball of water, okay, the Earth, before any land masses. That's where you start. You build the continents, the shapes, the islands in relation to the main mass, and then you get closer, closer, closer. You put in the buildings, you build the cities, the villages, the hamlets, and then you populate them. Every single thing has a tool unto itself. So it's your world to design like that. How detailed you want to do is up to you, the designer.
Then go to the programming side, which is called event editors. And then creating event. If you touch this box, what's gonna happen? The box is gonna open, or the box is gonna explode, or monster is gonna pop it up, or this kind of things you have to create.
In RPG Maker 2, you're in charge of not only all the items and events in the game, but all of the dialogue as well.
Hopefully you've previously written it and you have the scripting all set up beforehand, and you're not just winging it.
Our title is now compatible with USB keyboard. So instead of using the software keyboard inside and choosing each letters, now plugged into the USB keyboard into the PlayStation 2, that makes much easier than used to be.
After completing the dialogue, you then move on to the combat system.
You never see your army or your character, so it's like first-person view for all battle sequences. But what you get to do is design where your enemies are in relation to your point of view. So is it face on, is it slightly above? And then when you throw in the special effects, if I'm attacking with magic, I get to design the special effects for, do I do a fireball that launches straight out from me to you, or does it sweep around and blast?
These Agetec games are not only fun, but they're also a great way to start learning game design skills.
I think it really helps to understand, to get into this industry, what goes behind making a good game. You know the mechanics, you know the rules, but how do you make it go to the next level of greatness? You really have to get the experience somewhere. So by giving them just a blank slate and as many memory cards as they need, they can create something pretty terrific. It really opens up a whole universe for you. I think it's going to start the next wave of education, interest, and just all-around buzz for the industry and how accessible it is now. I'm not calling it a mini dev kit, but it's close.
These games can definitely give you a taste of the world of game design. In the next part of our series, we'll look at some schools that specialize in teaching the things that game designers need to know. Be sure to catch that story next month. The folks at McFarlane Toys take their role as premier makers of action figures very seriously. Founded by Spawn creator Todd McFarlane, they started with the alternative comic book hero and have blown up into a creative empire that includes figures from movies, sports, and even video games.
What Todd's vision is to take those characters out of that game and bring them to life in the real world. You can do them fairly realistically, especially if you look at the musculature and you look at the drapery and things.
A lot of times we're developing the figures simultaneously to where the game companies are. So we need to work very closely with them and obtain from them the best reference that they have at the time when we're developing it. And sometimes we actually have to go in and do some design elements beyond what they've done. And in fact, in a case like Soul Calibur, we've done that and then provided it back to them so that they've actually matched what we've done into the game.
It becomes a case of the life of the game imitating the art of the action figure. At McFarlane Toys, they put all of their heart into the new figures for Soul Calibur.
We're working on 5 characters. 4 of them are developed by the game designers themselves. One of them we developed. That's kind of the secret character. We can't divulge that one right now. But they're going to be a bit of a departure for us because we're going to make them smaller to emulate the type of product that's being made in Japan right now.
Collectors might also be interested in what it takes to make a great action figure based on a video game. It's a blend of artistry, realism, and the concept of remaining true to the spirit of the game.
Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid's a good example because we had some very good paintings of all the characters. And what we wanted to do is take those characters and, how do I make this guy look kind of realistic to bring him to life, to pull him out of the game. But you don't want to completely abandon the feel that the game creates.
Another issue to consider is retaining the sense of movement of a character. With the line created for Onimusha, McFarlane Toys had a high score in that department.
I felt that Onimusha, we really had satisfied a lot of different design issues as far as how the figures were articulated and yet still maintain that ground zero pose that Todd always likes to find, the pose that clearly defines the character. And yet we were able to articulate it so we could get into a lot of different poses that made sense, that weren't, just points of articulation, but really worked as far as achieving typical martial arts poses.
So it's way more than having kung fu grip or lifelike hair. At McFarlane Toys, a ton of research and mock-ups happen before there are any feet of clay being created.
Generally what we'll do is take a look at all the information we're given and put together a whole bunch of movement sketches find the best ones, and then start to look at which ones are developing the best 3D when we start putting them into clay. Then we take it into a harder wax. We begin finishing things, fine detailing things. That goes to our prototyping shop. They'll make molds and castings. That goes up to the shop where they pin them together. They make all the weapons. Then they go to paint and go through the same process of evaluations to find the right colors. You're either matching paint chips from a book or from a video game.
This here looks like it's more metallic, like darker.
Obviously, there are high-tech components involved in developing and manufacturing the action figures of today, but there's no denying the made-by-hand element of yesteryear.
There's a certain amount of hand-painted detail that's added at the end in terms of, you know, painting eyes or maybe painting lips on the females or rivets. So there's certain people sitting on the manufacturing line that may just be painting eyeballs all day long.
If you want to design an action figure, you need to follow quite a few rules of the articulated thumb. But when you're dealing with Todd McFarlane, the rules and the molds are made to be broken.
When Todd came into this industry, he'd look at him and say, well, you know, I want deeper lines in here and I want an undercut coming around the side of the torso. And people would say, well, you can't do that. And he'd say, why? So what we've worked on over the years working with Todd is looking at things and finding new ways and new materials to use in the process so that we can get what he's looking for.
So when you're done playing with your favorite video game, go and check out the action figure counterparts at a store near you. Okay, you've probably heard about E3 in magazines, or maybe even seen some footage on the PlayStation Underground. The Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3, is the largest video game trade show in the world. Every year, game developers, console makers, and even a few celebrities pack the halls of the Los Angeles Convention Center to show off and learn what is up and coming in the world of gaming. So how can you infiltrate this hotbed of gaming activity and check out all the newest games? Unfortunately, unless you're in the industry, you can't. But that's where we come in. Go to www.e3.playstation.com to get in-depth coverage on the newest games. Find out what your favorite developers are working on and get the latest word in the world of online gaming. Starting May 14th, make sure you go online. From the coolest games to the hottest booth babes and everything in between. www.e3.playstation.com will be showcasing it all. Be there or be left behind.
Space Fisherman, Space Fisherman, Space Fisherman, Space Fisherman. Space Fisherman, Space Fisherman, Space Fisherman. you